Baruch haba, Erev Tov. We welcome you, Shalom, to this evening's advanced class. And we're taking up adjectives again. We have no vocabulary for you tonight for a couple of reasons. One, some days I don't have time to write them on the board. So I didn't have time tonight to write them on the board. Second reason is for several people here, this is the second time through this section dealing with adjectives, and so it's a repeat for them, and so we kind of want to get through it, and so that we can move on and advance with it. So we're going to take up where we left off last week, and the other is we had technical problems last week with the Skype and all of that, and so we were only able to do half of the class, trying to get all of that figured out. So we want to make sure that we have full time tonight to take to get through all of what we have. So to begin with, we're talking about the Hebrew adjectives, and we spoke to two of them. We spoke a little bit of the third one. There are actually five. We only gave you three last week, but there are actually five. And so we're going to try to cover the last three tonight. And it's not difficult, fairly easy to understand, fairly easy to grasp a hold of, I believe. Some people may disagree with me, but this is fairly simple when it comes to grammatical terms and things like that with the properties of adjectives. It's fairly simple. So the attributive is when the adjective directly modifies the noun. Meaning that the adjective is there with the noun. So you have two parts of the sentence, which we'll get into in a little bit. You have the subject, and then you have the predicate. So now, whether the noun, because nouns can appear also, the subject is going to be a noun or a pronoun. But nouns can also appear in the predicate. For example, the object of the direct object, the object of a preposition, those kinds of things. So a noun can also be in the predicate, but it directly modifies the noun. So say the blue ball. The blue ball. Okay? So where's the adjective? Directly with the noun. Okay? It's directly modifying the noun. In English, it comes before the noun. In Hebrew, it will always be next to the noun that it's modifying. It will always follow the noun that it's modifying, as opposed to English where it comes before. It will always take the definite article of the noun. Two words. So we're reading this way. Always want to do the cha-cha-cha when I hear that music. Okay, so does anybody know what these two words are?
Simply done.
Second one's gado.
Gado, okay.
First one's trade.
Sound it out? Right? Notice you have a vowel here, so that tells you I should put this down a little lower. You have a vowel here, so that means that there's not a connector. So it's by, which is house. Big, remember big? So literally house is by E. Okay. So this is the way you'll see it spelled out by E. So everyone say bayit.
Bayit.
And what do you have here? The next one is
Gado.
gado. So bayit is house. Gado means
Great.
what?
Great.
Great. Big. Yes. So if Emilio is going up to the big house, right? Meaning what? Well, you're probably in prison. You're going to go visit the warden. Okay, so you have bayit gado. So this is going to be in, we're going to have it in attributive. So we get rid of all the excess here, now that we know where we are. Okay, so it's in the attributive. What are the rules? Number one, that it directly modifies the noun, saying what? Number one, it's always next to the noun. So does this fit? Does this fit?
Yes.
Yes. It's next to the noun. It must be next to the noun. Okay? If it's down several words or whatever, then it is not attributive. Okay? The second is that it always follows the noun. So here is the noun. This is the noun, bayit, house. This is the noun. So this is the adjective. Notice that it's following. It comes after. Bayit gado, house big. Always take. Who taught you how to speak? All right. Always takes the definite article of the noun. All right. Here, the noun does not have a definite article. So what about the adjective? It will also not have a direct article. So what we're saying here is a big house. Bayit gado. But in Hebrew, as we have spoken several times, in Hebrew, there is no indefinite article. So in English, when you're translating to English, then it's understood. So if I were to translate this phrase in English, I would say this, I would put it this way, a big house. But in Hebrew, it is just simply bayit gado. The indefinite article is understood. Everybody with me? So, let me give myself a little space here. So now I have ha. So now what? What word do I have here now?
The house.
The house. Habayit. The house. Ha as a prefix, the he as a prefix is the definite article the. So over here, what do I have to do? I have to do the same. Okay, did everybody see that? So, what? Habayit hagado. This is telling me, when I see this, as soon as I see this, and this is very important, to understand where this is coming in a sentence. Because remember that in Hebrew, the sentence structure is different. So we have to kind of understand that the Hebrew structure is different. So as soon as I see the he prefix on the adjective, this tells me automatically that it is attributive. This structure must be attributive, saying that the adjective is directly modifying the noun, saying that it is right next to the noun. There are no words in between. There are no understood words in between. Everybody with me? Okay, so you have all of this?
Yes.
So the next one is the predicative. And the predicative sounds like predicate. So that's telling you what? This adjective is going to appear in the predicate. So what can we say about this? That the predicative adjective appears in the predicate. So we can say that it indirectly modifies the noun. Now what do we mean by indirectly? We're saying that it is not sitting right next to the noun. It is somewhere else in the sentence, but it's still modifying the noun. Okay? So what did I tell you? What was our sentence? The blue ball, right? So this is the way a predicative adjective works. The ball is blue. The ball is blue. So is blue still modifying ball?
Yes.
Yes. Here's the noun. Here's the adjective. What is the difference? What is the difference? The difference is that we've done what? We've taken two words and we've actually turned it into a sentence. It's a sentence structure. And rather than the adjective being next to the noun, what? It's now down from the noun. It's further in the sentence. Not only is it further in the sentence, but here we have the subject, here we have the predicate. So it is a predicative adjective. Notice that we're using the word is. Okay? We're using the word is. So, to make a predicative adjective, you're going to use one of the forms of the verb to be. As in, I am, you are, he, she, it is. Past tense, I was, you were, he, she, it was. Future tense, I will be, you will be, he, she, it will be. Okay, so you're going to use some form of the verb to be. Everybody with me? But this creates problems in translating from English to Hebrew and Hebrew to English. What is the problem? The problem is there is no form to be in Hebrew. There is no verb to be in Hebrew. So you don't say I am. I am small. You say ani katan, I'm little. Okay? Ani katan. And to translate that, I would have to do this. I am understood little. Now, it can be a little hard to distinguish whether the adjective is attributive or predicative. So, some of the things about, some of the rules about the predicative is that it indirectly modifies the noun because it appears in the predicate form. It may or may not be next to the noun. It may or may not follow the noun. Now, by saying that, I'm putting them in similar forms so that it helps you to remember, using the same words over. It may or may not be next to the noun. It may or may not follow the noun. Saying what? It may come after the noun, or it may come before the noun. If the adjective appears before the noun, it must be predicative. If it appears after the noun, it may be predicative or attributive. It may be either one of these. So this is why I was saying it may be a little hard for you to distinguish between the two. Because the predicative may follow, as it does here, or it may precede. By coming before, if I'm translating into English, I have done nothing. Okay? I have done nothing. By putting it before or after, I have done nothing. If it's in the predicative, it's still going to read this. I am this. Or what? The other way, in the attributive, it read, I need to correct this. Okay, it's just going to be this. The other way read, the big house. Or a big house. And in this form here, this form here must be what? Attributive. Okay? But if I take the hay off, then it may be attributive or predicative. And in English you can translate it either way. And you'll be correct. Okay? Is everybody with me? The minute I put the hay on there, if this is attributive, I must put the hay over here. If it is predicative, I cannot put the hay over here. If it is predicative, it never takes the definite article of the noun. Okay, so it indirectly modifies the noun. It may or may not be next to the noun. It can be somewhere somewhere else in the sentence structure, which in English it'll be down here, which means it'll be in the predicate if it's the subject. If the noun it's modifying is the subject. If it's predicative, the adjective will be in the predicate. Will be in the second part of the sentence in the verb structure. All right. It may or may not follow the noun, saying it may come in front of the noun or after the noun, either way. There's only one true way to distinguish whether or not it is predicative, and that is this final one. If you see a noun, so here we have the noun. If you see a noun, on either side, the adjective does not have the direct article hey. If it has it, it can't be here. It cannot have this here because it can't be in front. On the one that follows, if it has the direct article hey, the, then this automatically makes it attributive. If I remove the direct article, that automatically makes it predicative. Everybody with me? Clear as mud? Chocolate ice cream? Okay, everybody have this. Okay, so the third adjective type is called substantive. Everyone say substantive. Substantive, right here. So what is substantive? That it has substance. Okay? Substantive means that it has substance. Meaning what? It has more strength than normal than other adjectives. It has more strength than the attributive. It has more strength than the predicative. That it has substance. So what do we mean that it has substance? The substantive adjective acts like a noun. It will act like a noun. It is still a descriptor. It is still a modifier, but it's acting in the place of a noun. How does it act in the place of a noun? It will stand alone. The substantive adjective will stand alone, and by standing alone, it acts like a noun. So we were talking about the big house. So let's stay there. The big house. House is the noun. Big is the adjective. So if I asked you this question, so I ask you this question. These are two words. Okay? Two words. In Hebrew, there are no, what do you call it, periods and commas and stuff like that. I'll put a question mark here, so that you know that this is a question. Okay, so who's got the first word? What is it? Ma. And ma means what? Not ma. Ma. That's what a baby cow says. Ma. Ma.
What?
What? Say what?
What house?
What house? So what am I wanting?
Description.
Description of which house you're talking about. Okay, so if I were to ask you, which house? What house? You were trying to tell me that it's the big house. What would your simple answer be? Which house?
The big one.
The big one. Okay? Is usually the way we would say that. The big one. If I were to ask you, or you go to McDonald's and you order a Coke and they say, what size do you want? and you say, what size do you have? And they say, large, medium, or small. Right? So how do you respond? Large, medium, or small? You can say the big one, the medium one, the small one. Or you could simply just say what? Which size do you want? What do you have? Large, medium, or small? And you instantly reply, large. As a statement. Thus, large is acting as a noun. Are you with me? Large has actually taken the place of the noun. How? Well, where's the noun here?
Coke.
Coke. This is the noun. Wonder if they'll give me revenue for advertising. This is the noun. This is adjective. Now, even if I say, or let's make it like this, a large one. What do you have now? This is what?
Describes large.
Describes large, but it's acting in what place? It's acting as the noun. This is still acting as the adjective. Now, if I say simply, a large, please. Now what? Now you have this, which is still modifying this, correct? One is modifying this. Here, large is modifying this. But what? Now it's acting, where's the noun of the sentence? The adjective is acting as the noun. This is why it is called substantive, because it has been given substance. What substance? Large meaning Coke. Right? So it's taking the substance of the noun, applying it to the adjective. So, if you ask, mabait, my response would be, Hagado. And this will be a substantive. If gado means what? Gado means large, big, okay. The definite article, the big. And but notice there's nothing following. One would be understood. Even as here. So you ask me, Magai, and I answer, Hagado. One word sentence. The adjective, Gado, is acting in the place, it is an adjective, but it is acting in the place of the noun. Is everybody with me? Okay? So this is the substantive. It has substance. It takes the substance from the noun. It acts like a noun and it stands alone. I could simply say, I don't have to say hagado, I could simply say what? I could simply say gado. Mavai, gado. A big one. So if I were to, if I'm in Israel and tell them I want to rent a house. What house? Mavai. Gado. A big one. Big. So that is these are the rules of the substantive adjectives. Everybody got it? So the fourth type of adjective is called comparative. Why do we call it comparative? What is the root here?
Compare.
To compare. So the comparative compares. It will compare nouns. It will compare nouns. So how do we do this in English? This ball is bigger than that ball. There's two L's involved. So what is the comparative adjective here? So what is the adjective to begin with? We're talking about the ball.
Bigger.
This is a noun.
Bigger.
Okay, so here's the adjective. This is the comparative. When we add ER onto an adjective, this is telling you that you are comparing it to another. So you're comparing this ball to that ball, saying what in size this one is larger, or here we would say that what this ball is smaller. Another comparative would be this ball is the largest. This is a comparative adjective. Here's the adjective, large, and here is the comparative. So in English, the way that we demonstrate comparison through adjectives is we add on ER or EST. Bluest, largest, smallest, roundest, smartest, larger, rounder, smarter, greater. Okay, so these are comparative adjectives. In Hebrew, the way we do comparative is we use the word the comparative will use the preposition can you read that? We'll use the preposition. What is that preposition? What is that preposition? Huh? Me. And me means from. So in Hebrew, the way you make a comparative, rather than saying bigger than, less than, bigger, biggest, instead of using the ER and the ST, you use the me. So you would say that let's see. Habayit gadol. Habayit, I have to do this right. Habayit, ha, gadol. And then you would say mean. Mean. Ha. And remember, katan. So, no, like this. Here we go. Sorry. Habayit gadol min ha-katan. So habayit, the house. Gadol,
Big.
min
From.
ha-katan. And to translate that to English, you would say the house is bigger than the small one. Everybody see that? Habayit gadol min ha-katan. Big house is the house is bigger because here you have what? Notice the rules from before. So you have a definite article in front of bayit saying what? The house. You have the definite article, the house. But notice that is there a definite article in front of the adjective?
No.
No. So then what type of adjective is this?
Predicative.
Huh?
Predicative.
It's a predicative. So the sentence is going to be what? This house is bigger right here. Mean, than, literally, from. Ha-katan, the small. What kind of adjective do you have here? There's no noun. Therefore what? Is standing alone. What? Substantive. So now you've actually used 3 types of adjectives in that one sentence. And you're using it in comparative form. You're comparing large to small. Okay? So you actually used you used the predicative, you used the substantive, and you used the comparative. All in that one sentence. Everybody with me? Salud. Let me see. Okay, what's going on here? All right, we're going to get into demonstrative. Everybody have this? We're going to get into demonstrative. I don't think we'll get into the Hebrew yet. But I will demonstrate demonstrative. That's a hint.
Demonstrate.
Thank you. One smart cookie. She is smarter. Is she the smartest? And And what type of adjectives are those?
Comparative.
Comparative. Okay, so what about demonstrative? Demonstrates. Now what do we mean demonstrates? That they take signs and they go outside and they walk around the block shouting and screaming, protesting. So, in effect, a demonstrative tells you which, but in particular form. And the particular form in English are these two words. Demonstrative, this or that. In plural, these or those. The distinguishing characteristic, the difference between this and that and these and those, is this, these two, this, notice I used that, the demonstrative, these two, right? These two are near. These two are far or away. As in proximity. So, I'm standing next to this chair. I'm standing next to this chair. And I would say, take this chair over there. Bring this chair with you. Why do I say this? Because it's right here. It's in proximity, close proximity to me. It's near. So if I were to say, take these chairs, more than one chair, proximity, near. Thus, these chairs. If the chair is far from me, for example, that one back there, then I would say, bring me that chair, because it's away. Its proximity is away from me. As soon as you bring it close to me, then what? Now I will use the term what? This chair. But because it's over there, it's that chair. Plural. If I'm standing now, what is my proximity to those chairs? Notice I use the word. Is away, therefore I use what? Those. So, this is the demonstrative. Demonstrative in English would be this or these for nearness, that or those for away, in proximity to me. Okay? Is everybody with me? So, how do I demonstrate this? Well, in Hebrew, remember that the adjective must agree with the noun that it is modified. And we have two types of genders in Hebrew, male and female. So there will be a male and a female, where if I were to say this girl, I would also say concerning the male, what? This girl, I would say concerning a male, what? This boy, I would use the same. I would use the same comparative. Are you with me? Okay? Or demonstrative, I'm sorry. If I say these girls, I would still say these boys. Okay? So it's the same. In English, the demonstrative is the same either way. If the proximity is away, then I would say, bring me those girls. They're away. Or if they are male, I would say, bring me those boys. Or I would say, bring me that girl. Or bring me that boy. So it remains the same. There is no change in gender for the demonstrative in English. But in Hebrew, there is. And this is the male demonstrative in Hebrew. And this is the female. Everybody with me? So what do I have here? Ze and Zot. So what is this? This means this in masculine form. This means, Zot means this in feminine form. Ze means this in masculine form. Zot means this in feminine form. So it makes a difference if I'm talking about, if I'm talking to or about, what form I'm using. If I'm using masculine or feminine, for example, there are ways to address the male, and then there are ways to address the female. They are similar but not alike. Okay? There are ways to distinguish which they are similar in structure, but they're not alike. So if I'm talking about father, Ava, talking about the dads, and I wanted this dad in close proximity. I want this dad. I would say what? Ze'av. This dad. If I'm talking about mother, I would say Zot Ima. Zot Ima. This mother. So this kind of gives you an idea of where this is going. And so we're running out of time, and we're going to close it down there. For that, we'll do this. For that, it is the pronoun. It's the Hebrew pronoun for he or she. So how do I say he in Hebrew?
Who?
Who? Who? He. Who is he? Remember the rule. Who is he? Now how so? How do I say she? Who is he?
He.
He is she. So I want to make sure I get my spelling right. All right. So who is he? He is she. That's one of the ways you remember. Put it over here one more time. Who is he? He is she. And this is the way that you would say that. Masculine. That feminine. So I would say, I could say ze ab, this father, ze ima, zo ima, this mother, okay, ze ab, this father, zo ima, this mother. I could say hu ab, say what? That father, or he ima, say that mother. Are you with me? Your eyes are starting to like do the circle thing. Okay, we'll stop there, giving you enough to contemplate for the week. We're going to come back to the demonstrative next week. We'll do the whole thing, starting from demonstrative, finish it out, and we'll go on to the next, which will be word pairs. So we'll take 5 and start the tree of life.